So this is against Baifern, who I've fought quite a few times, actually. She's got some weight on me. She's quite tall, and she's a fighter who knees a lot, but doesn't really clinch a whole lot. And the last time I'd fought her, she, I think she cut me once and won that fight, and then we had a rematch, and it was like, did Baifern really win? And it was a really, really close fight. Like, it wasn't a stoppage. And so we fought again, and I beat her, and then this was kind of like, was this going to be more revenge? But this show was Thailand versus USA, so like every matchup was Thailand versus America. And I was not told beforehand that it was on TV or that it was 3 rounds, so that was a surprise to me. This guy in my corner is from Spain, and he was nice enough to corner for me. I went to Laos with him once for a fight, which is how I knew him. But the guy who he fights for was one of the promoters for this fight card, Puiboonput, who is at the Muay Thai Plaza gym in Bangkok and then opened one up in Lampang. So it was kind of a surprise to me. I show up to the venue, and women didn't used to be able to fight at this venue. This is Kawila Stadium up in Chiang Mai, but it burned down, and then when they rebuilt it, they started letting women fight there. And so when I got there and they were like, hey, it's 3 rounds, I was like, oh, that's a bummer. I hate 3-round fights. And then they're like, and it's on TV. And I was like, okay, I guess I have to deal with that also. But I think that I had a very good attitude about those 2 surprises, being like, I didn't have any time to be worried about it because you just go with what the situation is. Just prior to this fight, maybe like a few weeks before, I had lost to Nang Hong for the first time. She had cut me, and the ref stopped it because it had opened up a vein. So her trainer is in my opponent's corner, telling her to elbow because that has become the like how to beat Sylvie. So I've been cut by Baifern before, but she was definitely throwing a different type of elbow in this fight because of the advice from that other trainer. But Pinu watched this because it was on TV, so he watched it when it was aired, and he said that they said my name differently 3 times. So I gave my name as Sylvie Petchrungruang because that's what my name is. But when I fight out of Lana, I fight with the Lana name. So the second time they said it, they said I was Sylvie Lana Muay Thai. And then the third time, they just kind of lost track of what Petchrungruang was and said that I was Thai Rungrung. I like when the referee just kind of gives you like the most basic instructions, like stop when I say stop, don't foul, fight hard. So it's time to start the fight, and the reason I don't like 3-round fights is that they can't develop the same way that a 5-round fight can. I don't really take the first 2 rounds off the way that many fighters do, but you have to have a different time frame in a 3-round fight for how you can win. I kind of drain people, so not having those 2 rounds at the end, having done the work in the first 2, can make things harder for me. But I just felt like going in this fight, and I'm checking her kicks, staying in close. I think I fought much better against her in this fight than I have in previous fights. And I think it was the surprise of the 3-round fight. I just threw a Yod Kumpan front elbow there, which just hit air, but throwing it in this space is new, for sure. I'm getting a really good lock on her and landing good knees. I don't think I've locked on her in open space like this as many times. I tend to kind of have her against the ropes, and because she's bigger, she can kind of lean into them and the ref will break it. But she's trying to fight it like a 5-round fight. Like, she's trying to keep the first round a little bit slower. And she's doing well with those higher kicks. She is scoring with those. They're like clipping my arms and stuff, but I am checking some of them. This hop-in works against everybody, and I was keeping my right arm across my face really well as a block. But she's not handling my lock well. He's a good ref, though. He let the clinch develop a little bit, which sometimes you won't get on TV. So there she was gearing up for that upward elbow that got snuffed by my arm being across my face. And I'm able to change positions and lock her here, but the ref stops it because we're leaning into the ropes like that. He keeps pulling us to the center, which I should be doing. I should be pulling us to the center. But I'm trying lots of different stuff here. I just tried to pat her front hand down and punch over it. Getting a little bit of distance with teeps. So these guys don't know me as a fighter. Like, this guy and I were in Lao together, but I don't think he really watched me fight, and I didn't really see his fight. But he was a really good corner in that he just kind of like kept everything super basic in terms of his advice, like letting me not have to think about what he thinks I should do as a fighter, but just kind of like stay close or whatever. That girl down in the bottom left in black turning away from us right now, that's Harneen. She's a female ref and official. She's reffed many of my fights, and she's on a lot of really big fight cards, like the all-women cards on the Queen's birthday and stuff. She's a former fighter. And having female referees is becoming not common, but more common now. There are more of them than when I first started, for sure. That pink towel hanging on the rope has been with me for like 2 years. It's gross. I don't want to lose it though. Like, I've had to track it down at fights. So these breaks felt like they took forever because you fight 2 minutes and then you have a 2-minute break. So you actually rest as long as you fought, which is so ridiculous. So here's that female announcer going on TV. So she's talking about the sponsors. So prior to our fight, like while the fight before us was going, Baifern and I had to go over and like hold these cards that had sponsors on them. You'll see the sponsors kind of around the ring, those colored tabs. I'd never had to do that before. I've seen it on Channel 7 many, many times, but standing there all oiled up trying to hold those cardboard signs with your gloved hands is odd. So in round 2, I'm trying to come forward a little bit more. I came in pretty good in round 1, but I don't know what that hop back was before my kick. I think I'm just trying to like feel out distance. I go straight back, but I spring back, like coming back at her instead of staying back, which I think is good and kind of new. But when I catch her is when I'm getting most of my damage. And here I'm able to turn her. And this was kind of my moment of the fight. I hooked her arm and did an elbow off of it. I was so happy with that. It turned into like a little GIF. It was on TV. But this twisting and turning and constantly keeping her off balance, getting her there and like hitting her on the way down, that's a huge point. Like, this round is mine unless she does something incredible. Hopping in with my right leg I don't really do. I should do it now. But I think I was just playing with it in this fight right there. But my lock is really, really working on her. The way that we clinch is different, she and I. She needs distance for her knees, and I like to close it down. So with her height, she ends up kind of crumpling a little bit under my lock. Now she's going to try to start doing those. She's trying to do a burst forward. She's trying to intimidate me, but she doesn't have the energy to keep going. So she's trying to do that upward elbow, and I parried it and caught her, and now she's stuck with her arm stuck to her face. Oh, the spin. I think I threw an elbow on top of that as well. She's looking at her corner. She really didn't like that. I tried so many different things in this fight. I think that the surprises of all those different things just really gave me a lot of freedom. Here, I'm winning the distance game, which is kind of unusual at that distance with our height difference. It's hard to win those clinch knee exchanges. So I had been cut in my previous fight, and Kevin is telling me that the scar is swelling because it's closed, but it's not fully healed yet. It takes a little while for like the scar tissue to be strong. So Kevin is letting me know that my cut from before is swollen, which means if she touches it, it could pop open. And that was the one that was a vein. So if it started bleeding again, that could end the fight for sure. Kevin telling me that he saw and liked the elbow. I was proud of that. I'm still proud of that. I look pretty relaxed though in this fight. He's putting some Vaseline on there for me. I like how focused that other guy is. I don't know if he's also from Spain or not. I'd never met him before. But the girls from the Petchrungruang gym, which is an all-female gym, were also at this fight card fighting Americans. But they helped put on and take off my gloves and stuff like that. So I had some badass Petchrungruang girls helping me in the backstage part of this fight. So going into a final round of a 3-round fight, you don't really want to back off the same way you can in a 5-round fight if you have a lead. So I just wanted to kind of push all the way I could. And because it's on TV, you want to keep things kind of active. But my kind of idol in this fight is higher than it is in other fights. And I think that it worked well for me to do that. I went the wrong way on our hug. It's awkward. But so now she's just trying to score. So she's going to try to keep her distance and kick because that range is better for her. So she's throwing lots of teeps and kicks and trying to like intimidate me back. I'm like, I can do that distance a little bit too. So a lot of those were blocked. That's me kind of posturing a little bit. But once I get my lock on her and she's already tired from me locking her throughout the fight, I just got to keep moving her and see, keeping her in open space rather than against the ropes, I'm able to do a lot more in the clinch. We're inching our way to the ropes, which is when it gets broken, is getting into the ropes here, especially in a last round. Looking at my body language, I think that I was considering dancing off at this point, but decided to keep going a little bit more. She tried to throw that elbow again, but now she's actually leaning into my lock, which is even worse for her, so it's kind of the end. And I decided at this point that that's enough, that it's just going to be up to her to try to score something incredible in the last minute of this fight. So I just have to stay back and defend. I was trying to teep her on a kick there, but just getting out of the way. It's tiring for her. It shows how tired she is. I think I threw another Yodpantan elbow there. Here, I ended up kneeing her in the crotch right there, which wasn't intentional, but it sucks nonetheless. It's painful. So here I'm not backing up anymore. I'm just goading her to come in, trying to teep her legs a little bit, and she's kind of accepting the loss a little bit. She's not trying to come in hard, but she is trying to time a good strike. She's teeping though. That's not like the best strike to choose to win a fight there. I totally just walked away from her while she was going to my feet. I was kind of surprised by the gesture. So they announced me as the winner. I definitely knew I had won that fight already. I went over and tried to thank her corner and saw the trainer of the other gym who was telling her to elbow me as well. So this is Kawila Stadium. It's huge, and I've never seen it full, but it still has this sound, this incredible sound when the gamblers get going. You can see the swelling on my face. I said America, fuck yeah to Kevin right there coming out with my mouthpiece in for extra awesomeness. So my corner is telling Kevin that he has to go corner for someone else, so he has to like go run over there. But over here, these posters, that's where they were doing the sponsors. There were actually tons of people on this card who knew me, which was cool. Like before the fight, all these people were coming up and taking pictures with me, and they're like, I'm in Chiang Mai because of your blog and your YouTube, which was awesome. It's people coming and training based on things that I've written and videoed. All these people outside of the dressing room. So that's the trainer of Nang Hong who was saying to elbow me. Directly to the left is all the Petchrungruang girls, But they're helping me take off my gloves now. That one on the left is Petlila. She is awesome. Should watch out for her name. She's going to be superstar. So that's the head of Petchrungruang Gym, the kind of older guy who is right in front of me. He's off camera now. There he is. He's a general. He loves me. I used to get beat up by one of his girls named Nong Ying. That's Rami from New York, or Philly, I guess, but from the East Coast. He was out because in this America versus Thailand show, the American IFMA team was there. So I'm introducing Petlila. Best clinch fighter in Chiang Mai. She's looking confused. She's like, what are you talking about? She doesn't speak English. She's like 14. She's very sweet. She's badass as well.
Beautiful.
What's his name? Leon Persert was in her corner.
Yeah, so now I'm complaining about the Leon Persert guy telling her to elbow me, but I'm actually happy he told her that because she didn't do it well. And I got her caught in some good positions based on that. So now I'm talking to someone off camera in Thai, I don't know. Oh, that's the Leon Persert guy who I was just complaining about. I said I wanted a rematch with Nang Hong, and he goes, no. Nice.
Word gets around about that lead elbow. She was doing it the whole fight.
Kevin telling me that she was elbowing me, as though I didn't know. You can see how swollen that vein is on my head, though. I'm lucky that didn't get hit.
Yes, I do.
And that's my don't give a fuck elbow I'm saying to Kevin.